Then I had 7 weeks off. 7 weeks when you don't have even to think um, how you're gonna spend your time, what you're gonna do. You just want to enjoy, just relax, disconnect. And at the same time was very interesting because I knew that after those 7 weeks back in London, I'm gonna need work, but I don't even know where I'm gonna end up. But at that time, to be honest, I didn't care much. What I cared about was having those 7 weeks, just simply having a break. And I don't remember if I ever had 7 weeks off, but because usually, if you have a longer break, you're unemployed. But in my case, was different. I knew that my agent might find something for me because she knew that I'm available, so I left it everything in her hands. And then I just packed my things, everything happened very quick, took off. It was a beautiful evening, beautiful sunset. I was lucky to get a window seat. And then when I landed by the time at home, it was already dark, it was late. And that weekend, I was very lucky because that was the seaside festival in my town, in my city, and that seaside festival, it's called Eurošventė in Lithuanian, and we have it. The tradition is over 100 years, and it's not a typical festival when you go somewhere in a field, in a tent, and everyone is partying, like you've seen one of those in a Bridget Jones movie. No, it's completely different. So imagine the old town is completely closed. That means no cars are passing through. Pretty much the whole city center. And there you have beautiful stalls. Different corners have different mini events. There are many artists, food stalls like food, etc., coming from everywhere in Lithuania, from Lithuania, different corners from Lithuania. So very, very beautiful, and it's not overwhelming. It's nice. Yeah, it's pretty, and I was so happy because for the last probably 20 years living abroad, since I left my home country, maybe 25 years actually, I managed to be at the Seaside Festival during the summer maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times, not more. Where before it was a tradition, you go there every summer, end of July, and you spend there 3 days. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And because we are in the same city, it's fine, you just get there and you don't have even to pay for any accommodation, etc. So it was always ideal. So I arrived and we had a seaside festival, Eurošventė. I was really looking forward to it because I didn't manage to go there the summer before, and I knew that there is this Latvian dress designer will be there, but they sell those beautiful summer dresses, such a nice material, and I really wanted to buy more of those dresses. I'm wearing one of those dresses, or my first dress I bought from them, in one of my pictures you can see, which are even the picture of this channel, Jana Stars. So you can see it under my jeans jacket. There is this beautiful dress. It's actually very long and it's very pretty and it feels very summery. So I was really looking forward to get that dress and then also buy other things and just enjoy the time. It's not really just for shopping. It's just like to buy one or two things to remember. So I got myself that dress a few years ago. So I wanted to buy maybe another dress because they feel so comfortable and so pretty. Also, I will see what else is going to happen. So we have many stores as well for amber. And if you don't know, amber is Lithuanian gold, we call it. It's a it's a healing stone which comes from the seaside, from the Baltic seaside where I'm from. And yeah, I will include here a picture of our seaside so you can see. And the way it is formed, it it's from the pine trees, or like a trees which look like a Christmas tree. Is this type of tree, and they have usually like a very sticky juice. And when that juice falls into sand, then the sea water takes it into the sea. It takes million of years to form, and then you got amber stone. So it's an old healing stone. So yeah, I was really looking forward to buy something. And yeah, there were many beautiful amber things, and I'm gonna include a picture here now of the amber stall. So I've got myself some nice things. I got myself this beautiful sort of like amulet. I don't know if you call it like that, something like maybe to bring you luck because it's quite big, but it has this really beautiful texture. And usually, as you can imagine, when these juice fall into the sand and they're so sticky, sometimes they get some particles from the tree, from the sand, from the grass, even some insects sometimes, so you can see them inside of those stones. So it's a very beautiful stone, and it's sort of see-through, has a very nice color. And yeah, so I've got that one just for myself. I would like to, if I would have a nice window, like in some cafes in Lithuania, but as my own flat, I would get maybe a wooden, something like wooden, and I would hang it on there by the window because you can see then the structure so beautifully. So I've got this myself because it's a healing stone. It gives you a lot of calm and promotes sort of a stress-free life. This is the benefit. And then I got myself a few rings. They're also with a kind of green amber. You can see maybe on my finger. It's a very small piece of amber. And then also I've got this sort of ring as well. Oh, there's something on my finger. I think it's a bit of a mascara. So yeah, it's really pretty. So I did a bit of a few things to buy just for myself because it's so nice when you come back to London and you remember what you've got. So little stalls, beautiful dresses, amber, a lot of wooden things you can get for your kitchen, or even to make your home look much nicer. And then there are lots of shows. So it's very pretty because we have a river in my town, but we also have the sea. We have a port because we are a port town, the third biggest city in Lithuania. I mean, it's big, it's very small because Lithuania is very small anyway, it's a tiny country. And in the evening there were lots of shows with like fireworks by the end, at 12 at midnight. So it's very nice. So what we did with my mother, my brother and my dad, they weren't very keen to go there. I think they have done quite many seaside festivals in the past. But with my mother, we really enjoyed it, and we went there every day. So I missed Friday because I had to fly, but Saturday and Sunday, it was great. And yeah, it was pretty. So I managed to capture those as well in images, pictures, but also videos. And I will be sharing this with you now on here. So even for myself to watch back, and also for my mother to see, to remember how the Seaside Festival was, how we spent the last summer basically. And then next day, I woke up at home and I have this window where I sleep. It's a window on a balcony. It's sort of, it's not just one window, but it was all so green and beautiful and so many trees. And where I live in London, unfortunately, they built a building in front of me, um, so I don't see much greenery. There are some trees, but they're below because I'm sort of on the third floor. And I've got on a balcony some nice plants, but otherwise I don't see much trees. And I come from the country where there's so much greenery. It's really beautiful. It's really pretty, and then suddenly I'm looking at these buildings. So it's not very nice. But what can you do, isn't it? Sometimes life is not a concert of the wishes, as the Germans say, and in German that sounds Das Leben ist kein Wunschkonzert. So yeah, what can you do? Yeah, I'm being a bit cynical here, but whatever. So as soon as I opened up my eyes, like those first days when I arrived, and I wake up in the morning, and then when the sea festival was over, Saturday and Sunday, because these 2 days passed so quick, you just feel like I arrived. And every morning I would just wake up, look out, just not even, you know, I could see that window from my from my bed. So I would just open my eyes and the window is there, and I would just watch. Sometimes the birds kind of land on there, like crows, like little birds, and it's quite nice to see them in the morning or like during the day. And yeah, it was nice. It was a nice feeling. You know that feeling when you arrived, when you're home, and it's just a sensation and a feeling of that peace and tranquility and freedom. I felt free, and I felt free for I don't know. It felt such an amazing feeling of having this freedom. And then actually, what did I do those 7 weeks? I spent quite a lot of time just being sort of mindful, present, which means not doing really much, just testing my feeling. My feeling says, oh, do this today, and I'll do something. oh, do this, maybe do that. So I didn't pre-plan anything, but while I was there, sometimes I would do something spontaneously. It was a really nice summer because it wasn't too hot. It was about 23 degrees, so actually it's quite cool. Because the year before, the summer was very hot. We had about over 30 degrees. It was very, very hot. So you had to avoid the sun pretty much all day, like until 3 4 p.m., like early in the morning. And then I would say from 11 it was already very hot, and you had to hide. And then you would spend more the evenings outside, outdoors. And this summer was different because it wasn't that hot, and I enjoyed it a lot. We had beautiful, like, evening skies, pink, lots of really nice clouds this year. Many big clouds, which like looking like a cotton, I don't know, cotton castles. And because in Lithuania we are a very Nordic country, it gets dark very late. So it gets dark after midnight usually. So our evenings are really long, and the sunset is maybe around 10:30. So it's absolutely bright until 12. So we can enjoy the evening. If it's hot during the day, we will maybe hide, who don't like the sun too much, and then it will be still sunny, but it's the sun is not that aggressive anymore and it's not that strong. So yeah, and I spent lots of time and I took some beautiful pictures of the sky. Pink or with clouds, or evening, kind of evening sunsets. It was beautiful. Then at the same time, and we did that actually without even going anywhere. We just walk around where I live. We would just go for maybe a walk after dinner, and just to enjoy yourself just for half an hour and get a bit of movement. And simply said, not even movement, just be and enjoy your home. And then, of course, some days I love to go to have some Lithuanian food, some traditional food. One of them are like pancakes filled with cheese, but not that cheese which is like Gouda or Elementale, you know, the one you put on a pizza and it just kind of stretches, or mozzarella. No, no, no. It's the one where you make a cheesecake. So it's like a cottage cheese a little bit. So it's really nice. So I love those, and having coffee, and my mom enjoyed it too. It's sort of like a girly time a bit. Talking about things, catching up. So that was really nice. And I had quite many of those. Even we went one day with my mother to the area where I grew up, with my grandmother and my parents until I was 6. So we walked a lot there. There was my kindergarten. And you know, when you don't go to the place where you grew up for many years, and then suddenly you're there and you have all these memories, and you feel like everything is so familiar, but at the same time, because my grandma doesn't live there anymore, they moved later away, it feels at the same time you don't know this place anymore. It's not yours, but many years ago, that was definitely our home, and I loved my childhood there because there was lots of trees to climb. It was exciting. Not that many children, but it was enough. It was enough. So this is how I was spending my time. Yeah, and then we are a seaside town. So as you can imagine, one of the beautiful rituals we have, the locals, we love to go to the seaside. And often I go to the seaside not necessarily to tan yourself, but I'm going just in the evenings to enjoy the sunsets and watch the sunsets. Because the summer wasn't so warm, I didn't even swim once. I could have, but I just felt like once I got there, I was like, oh, it's a little bit windy, maybe not today. But it was quite nice just to sit there, watch the sea and the waves coming and going. Usually, if it is too stormy, you wouldn't be there. It's just too windy. And the Baltic Sea, I think, is one of the dangerous seas in Europe, as far as I know. So some days can be so quiet and peaceful. Some days it's a little bit wavy, but there's some days the waves are big and it's stormy and it's really windy. You don't want to be there. You want to leave. And so on those days when it was really nice, we went to watch the sunset. We went to watch the sunset, and we're sitting there on a bench or even on a sand on a little towel, and just enjoying the peace. In Lithuania, our coast is very long. It stretches from kind of Lithuania, three countries, stretches through three countries, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. So actually, you could walk along that beach, along that coast for, I don't know, probably for a few days if you want to. I don't know even how much time would take to cross all three countries walking by the seaside. I guess probably it would be, I don't know, it would take me a week, but it depends on your fitness levels, I guess, because it's not easy to walk through the sand. It's you will feel your legs, that's for sure. And so just watching and sitting there is actually quite nice and peaceful. And why I was saying and sharing that the coast is so long, so that means people sort of spread. So usually you're there by yourself. And yeah, but many nice, beautiful sunsets. And some of the days the sky was absolutely beautiful too, and completely red. And then we have these beautiful dunes. So you arrive, you have a massive forest from the pine trees. You walk through the forest, and then you go the dunes with some bushes, with some kind of, how I would say, dune plants. There are little paths, like wooden paths, you walk because it's easier to walk. And then when you know exactly which point or which location by the sea you want to be, then you kind of go for a little tiny, like a tiny bridge, stairs, and then yeah, you choose your spot. So I really like it. It smells always really nice. You can hear those insects everywhere, twitching and making all these beautiful sounds, because you have a forest as well. So the pines are smelling so nice. I absolutely love it. So I made a few videos as well, included, and so just for me as well to reflect back and to have a look and to share with you all how actually Lithuanian coast looks like. And then we started looking into what could we do, a little bit, because time is never monotonous there. I enjoy just simple things like everyday things, getting up, having breakfast, going for a little walk, maybe going to the supermarket. I love our supermarkets. They're very big, but they're at the same time very peaceful and very tidy and very nice. It's quite nice to see what they sell, what they have. Especially, I don't get these products in London. Sometimes in some mini Lithuanian stores, but it's quite nice to see and like go to see the magazine parts and like maybe something else what they're selling. We have bakeries there as well next to the supermarket, so you can buy nice coffee and enjoy some bakery things, a bit of cake, or they usually cut for you and you can they wait, and so it's not expensive as well. So it's nice. I really love that. So we started then thinking, oh, what can we do if we could go somewhere? And then my brother offered, he had an idea. He's like, how about we're gonna go to Ventas Ragas? And Ventas Ragas in Lithuania, it's by the seaside. It's like the Curonian coast. I don't know how you call it exactly in English. We call it Kuršių nerija. And there is a center where the birds come. They put on the bird's leg like a little ring, so they know where the birds go when the winter comes. And we know for a fact that some Lithuanian birds travel even to Africa. Can you imagine? They travel even to Africa during the cold winter seasons, because in Lithuania sometimes the temperatures could go even over -20, which is not very common, but we reach those temperatures quite a lot. So we went there because I haven't been there. My brother has been there quite a few times, and there was this lighthouse as well, very pretty. I think my mom never been there before, so we really enjoyed that little trip. So we drove there. It was like sunny but a bit a moody day, not too much sun, a bit cloudy, so it was nice just to see. It was a little trip. And then we stopped by one kind of traditional Lithuanian house, like architecture, where they had like a mini restaurant just to have a Lithuanian drink, which is called gira. And gira is a little bit, I would say, it's like a fermented drink. It's a little bit like a kombucha, I would say, but the taste is different. And yeah, it was nice to try. And it was like a homemade, and I really, really enjoyed it. So that was really good.
Kokie langiukai, man koks tas langiukas. Senovinis dar tas užraktai, tai tokie senoviniai, tai.
čia, nu tai aš čia galima dar užlipti aukščiau pasižiūrėti, matai.
Nu kaip čia aukščiau, lakščiau.
Jo, va čia matai, va įrėsi, va ten. Išsėlė.
And then what we did, apart from our trips, I love our where I'm from. We have a really nice old town. It's cobblestones. We have a river. There is a regatta, very big ship, like not a ship. It's like a regatta. It's like a sailing ship, right? And that sailing ship has a restaurant on top. Today is used as a restaurant, so it's nice to sit on there and just enjoy a coffee or food. And you can see one side of the old town. There's some beautiful old buildings, architecture, and in Lithuania we're very artistic. There are many sculptures. So some of the buildings have like of the buildings is really famous. They have the sculpture of this man who cleans the chimneys, the chimney sweeper, and he's just on there. I took a picture of it as well, and I will show you in the videos in my little mini film which I made. I put it together, if you can call it a film, of course. So with my mom I quite like to go there, and this year they added that you don't have to go on the ship if you don't want to. You could even sit outside, and they put nice like big umbrellas to cover you to protect you from the sun, and you could have a drink or a coffee, and just watch people passing by. I loved it. So it's actually quite nice. It's not too busy. It's exactly the vibe you need, at least I need. And yeah, it was really good. It was very summery, very enjoyable. And that ship is called Meridianas, and you will see it as well in the images and pictures. Yes, and then those holidays, week by week, doing interesting things, pretty much locally. Even this Ventas Ragas was just 1 hour away from where we live, probably 35 minutes drive, maybe 40. But it was nice to go there. We really enjoyed it. And then I had this idea. I found out that one of my favorite musicians from Lithuania, he's actually an accordion player, Martinas Levickis. He's gonna be in Lithuania because at that time he was mainly in Germany performing, and he's gonna be in Kaunas. Kaunas is the second biggest city in Lithuania next to Vilnius. Vilnius is the capital, and these two cities are really close to each other, and they're on the other side of the country, and we are completely the opposite side, and we are by the seaside. So it's about 3 hours drive or 3.5. And I thought, okay, we could book maybe an accommodation there, because going there and then coming back would be a bit difficult. But then I find out as well that this concert will be open air, and it's not somewhere in a city center of Kaunas or Old Town. It's gonna be in one of the monasteries, a very old monastery called Pažaislio Vienuolynas, which is by a very big lake called Kauno Marios. Is really big, and then you got so much greenery around, and then you got that monastery. And next to the monastery, actually it's a part of a monastery, they created some accommodation there. They had about 6-7 rooms only, because everything is very old, but of course restored and renovated. And you could book accommodation there. So I thought like, oh, how about that? I never been there. It would be really nice, because it's a concert, it's open air, and I'm gonna see one of my favorite musicians, and at the same time it's a nice venue to stay, and as well to stay overnight. So I was lucky. I managed to book a room for myself and my mother. So we shared one room, so it was good. And then and I was really looking forward to it. That was about just 2 weeks before I had to depart, and I thought like it will be a nice little trip somewhere else, and even for my mother, just to see something different. Somehow I feel we never really traveled a lot in Lithuania, and there's so many beautiful places to see and to explore. So I thought that was a very good thing to do. And then what happened then? The weather forecast. The weather forecast got really bad. And for that week was just showing rain, 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 very bad rain. And I was like, why now? because as you can imagine, we had pretty much no rain all these weeks, and now suddenly it was really raining, and I thought, what we're gonna do, sit in the rain in the open air concert. But then we thought that it doesn't matter, we will dress up, and we're not from sugar, we're not gonna melt, we just need proper clothing. So we went there, and probably the rest of the story I'm gonna do the voiceover, and you will see the Pažaislio vienuolynas, which looks really beautiful, and the rest of our adventure there. We arrived at Pažaislio Monastery, the oldest monastery in Lithuania, built around 1660. It's a Baroque style monastery, lots of original detail like old wooden doors, beautiful frescoes on the ceilings. So we're enjoying the interiors. There were also some very beautiful old original paintings on the walls. The courtyard was already prepared for the concert, so we had a little stroll around, and then we went outside to see if we can visit the part where the monks live. But unfortunately, because it was Sunday, the access for visitors was closed as the monks were resting and praying. But what can you do? We weren't that upset. We thought we have to try another time. And my mom found a way to have a little look, a sneak peek, what monks are doing, and actually they really love gardening. This monastery is surrounded by forest. It's like very foresty, and also by a lake called Kauno Marios. So we had a walk along Kauno Marios in the forest, enjoying the fresh air, also discovering some nature wonders on the trees. It was really nice. It was actually a bit chilled. And then by the time we got back, our musician Martynas Levickis was practicing with the orchestra and getting ready. And while they were doing that, we decided to check out the menu at the restaurant. Really nice food, Michelin star, very nicely prepared, nicely decorated and arranged. Very small portions, of course, because it's a Michelin star. Really beautiful dessert, very delicious, a very, very big plate, and a very, very small dessert. It started raining, pouring down, but then the rain stopped just before the concert started. After visiting Pajislo Monastery, we stopped in Kaunas, where we had to take our bus back to the seaside to go home. So we walked a little bit in the old town, admiring it, went to the church to light some candles for my grandparents. And then also, it was just really nice to walk around. It was a very beautiful weather, sunny. The old town is a very pretty street where there are no cars, lots of cafes, restaurants, and also small boutique stores, and just enjoy basically. There was a river, and we had a walk by the river. Very nice sky, big clouds, and we discovered as well some avant-garde, some art on some buildings. It was just nice just to be there and change the scenery. Kaunas is the second biggest town. So we had a really good time in Kaunas, in Pažaislio vienuolynas. We enjoyed the concert, and we were very lucky. We were very lucky, as you could see. And then, of course, the time was approaching. I knew I have only about 2 weeks before going back. And at that time, my agent already got in touch with me, and they knew that they're gonna place me to work again in higher education. And I'm gonna be starting when I'm back, as soon as I'm back, basically next day. And it was good. It was good in terms of knowing that there will be some finances flowing. And yeah. And then what did we do? My brother again was really nice and kind to take us to a little town called Palanga. It's actually the town where I landed in Lithuania. So when I landed, it's Palanga airport. It's just 5 minutes away from Palanga. It's by the seaside. It's a small town, like city, you can see. I guess it's a town. It's about 8,000 people living there. But they have an old town a little bit, not a proper old town, but there is a castle, old castle in the park by the sea, which is now these days an amber museum. So it's really beautiful to walk in that park with old trees. And it was a villa of one, like a graph. I don't know if you say a graph in, no, probably not in English. It's like one of those dukes, yeah, kind of dukes. And so now this villa is a museum today, but they did a lot for that duke and all the people that they did a lot for that Palanga town. And Palanga town is like a Kurort, we call it in German, is Kurort, like sanatorium, where many people were sent there. There were built many places where people would come for healing, because there's a very foresty area with a lot of pine trees. So in the modern world, we call them spas, like a spa. But in the old days, it was more like a medical spas. So we still have those medical spas, but also they have many modern spas in there, in that little town. So it's very pretty. And we went to visit, we walked, it was very beautiful. And then we walked along the sea. It has also a very nice coast. And what they have too as well in Palanga is famous, apart from Amber Museum, is that they have a bridge. It's like a pier which goes into the sea, and it's the only pier we have in Lithuania, because we don't, like in England, Brighton, Eastbourne, they pretty much all have those piers going into the seaside, but we don't build those. So it's just like a bridge. And in the old days was an old, when I was a child, I remember there was a bridge from wood. It was very wooden, much shorter, but then later they built properly, and so people could walk until the end. And some people fish as well there. And now I think they made it as well quite many benches at the beginning, because it just goes like this, and you can sit down and just watch without walking, especially some elderly people, they can come and sit there and watch the sunset. So it's made for people. It's very peaceful, it's very nice. People are very respectful. And when we were there, you would hear in the video probably there was a musician playing his Yamaha pieces. He was very good, like piano player. So we could enjoy a free concert as well. And so yeah, that was a really nice trip. Every time in Palanga, I'm really enjoying it.
Baigėsi strojkė, ar kaip ar neleido statyti daugiau, ar pinigai baigėsi.
Kaip anksčiau darė.
it's beautiful. It's beautiful memories. I'm enjoying it, just talking about it and remembering it. So this is how it was. My 7 weeks. It was hard to leave, but I knew I'm coming back for winter in 3 months. I knew I'm working 3 months, and then off you go. Beginning of December, I'm gonna be back. And I think I left my summer with all these memories, everything what we did, spending time with my family, my mother, my brother, my dad, and knowing that soon I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be back, just going to London, will work a bit, catch up with some of my friends, do some other things I wanna do, and then I'll be back soon.